reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. You're listening to Defiance Reporter on the MMO Reporter Network, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon with Doghouse Systems.
And welcome to the pre-season 2 Voices of Defiance, Defiance Reporter / Defiance Podcast mashup with special guest Trick Dempsey. How you guys doing today?
Doing very well.
Awesome.
Okay, it's early in the morning.
That's right. Yeah, I've got my coffee. I made it. It's Vietnamese coffee. It's delicious.
We are a mere 4 days away from the Defiance Season 2 premiere in the United States, apparently, because in the UK they can't get their story straight.
Oh.
So we're sorry, guys. We'll have to fix that up. But I will say, having been at the tail end of that with Continuum lately, it sucks, and I feel your pain. So we are excited. Did everybody see the season 2, the final trailer with all the darkness and stuff going on?
Yes.
Yes.
Michelle, what did you think about it?
I've watched so many.
I can't remember which
Dark Days
which.
are coming. Dark Days are coming. Yes, I know which one we're talking about. I'm just so concerned about everyone in the show. And we already know people aren't going to make it out of season 2. So just watching the Dark Days are coming, it just made me want to reach for my glass of bourbon and just drink until the end of season 2. And I said dark, so I guess everyone should take a drink. But it looks. I can't decide which character I'm most concerned about. I mean, they are all in some seriously low places, but I need for Daytak to get out of jail ASAP. I'm thinking he's going to be out of prison by episode 3. That's my prediction.
I'm guessing sooner than that.
You think by the end of the first episode?
Yeah. There's only 13 episodes, and there's only so much they can do. So.
I don't think so.
You can, if any modern television series have taught us, you can do a lot from prison.
This is true.
Yeah, I mean, look at Orange is the New Black. They do a lot. Oz, I mean,
Prison Break.
They did show, so all the clips that they've been showing on the #Defiance script, I think have been from the first episode of season 2, and I do believe Doc and Daytak were already planning some sort of escape. So, Ben, maybe you're right. Maybe by season 2, we'll all be together again in Defiance.
We're doing this live. I'm a little bit remiss. Let me introduce everybody. I'm Stargate Pioneer. I'm the host of Voices of Defiance, along with Sean.
What's up?
And Shannon.
Hello.
And then we have a mashup this week with Defiance Reporter, or Defiance Podcast on Twitter, and that is with Ben.
Yo.
And Michelle.
Drink up.
Dark up, baby. And then we've also got from Tryon, we've got Trick Dempsey. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. The coffee is still warm.
All right. So you're talking about Yule a little bit, and we've already seen indications that Doc Yule is going to have a little bit of relationship, a little bit of character building, even more than season 1. So Shannon, what do you think about that?
Well, I don't think Daytak's going to get up anytime soon. I think they're going to make it last further on to the season. I think that would be perfect to show how everyone, even though he's evil and everyone hates him and everyone loves to hate him, I think it's going to show how much they actually need him. I think Stama needs him to a point.
Stama needs him out of the bath. That's what she needs.
To the point.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be there for a little bit longer. In the clips that I've seen, he's already attacking people in prison. The one where he's putting the guy's eyes out. That looked pretty painful.
Yeah, that eye gouging. There were a couple of clips of eye gouging, which I didn't see in season 1. So I'm glad we're progressing. It's fantastic.
They've been watching, other high budget shows, and they were like, brutalism. There's so many ways to do brutalism. Let's do, I don't know, all of them.
We had the whole Game of Thrones thing going on there in that last clip. I don't know if you've seen that.
I really love the clips they've been putting out. I think that one of the things that they learned from the first season from doing the writing in it is now we've established the characters, and it's so much more exciting now to just go, hey guys, we know these characters, we love these characters, even Daytak, who's a monster. Let's put them inside of more horrible situations than ever before and see most of them get out of them.
Or die trying.
Or die trying.
Whoa, ominous.
Well, we do know somebody's going to die.
We do, and that's straight from Mr. Murphy himself. And it's someone that he likes, I believe. Which I believe he probably likes everyone, so that's not a spoiler. But
no one's safe.
That's right.
So I watched this Dark Days Ahead thing, but I was a little distracted because you know how YouTube likes to play those ads in front? Well, yep. I got a 3-minute Season 2 preview that I didn't know was out yet. And it showed, 3 minutes of the 2 scenes. One with Stama and Alak in the bath arguing about, the business. And then we saw Nolan running around and then getting chased by none other than Varys Seleptor.
Yeah,
I was completely shocked.
Look, that we said that would catch up with him, and he. Oh shoot! Have they said? Yeah. And if you go to L.A., you've gotten close enough to San Francisco to earn his ire.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect Varys to be. When you said that we'd catch up with Nolan, I thought it would be in the game. I didn't expect it to be in the show. So that was awesome. I did not expect to see Varys in the flesh, and it was a little awkward.
I might add, I was on a rant about no pickup trucks, so at least we got an SUV, but no pickup trucks yet.
Will there be a pickup truck? I'm trying to think. Well, you're going to see a lot of Durangos, so there you go.
Imagine that.
Shocker.
Must be some sort of Dodge Durango promotion.
What? What are you talking about? That definitely didn't get loose in the game early by accident either.
I did like the artwork on the side of that baby, too.
Yeah, is that like the Indigene Terminator? I mean...
Essentially, I love that they essentially were like, let's try to find the most redneck painting we could put on the outside of an alien car, and let's do that.
It's like it came through Texas.
It's possible. They're shooting up in Canada, though.
There's still no mud on it, though. I mean, yeah, there's got to be mud on it if it's in Texas, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Right now, no, it's all dust. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, it's the last time I was in Texas, it was just bone dry, and I'm like, this is a humid zone. That is what this is for. Ah, damn it.
Trick, what's with no car washes in the video game?
Come on, man. There are hardly bathrooms in the video game. You think we're going to let the car get clean?
I can just see it now. 3 arc hunters running towards an arc fall. Wait, bathroom break. Yeah, that's going to work.
So I actually love the I used to work on other kinds of games. Now, I love when you've got your car gets damaged, and that's a bad thing, and you can go to a car wash, and that's it. And it's cured on the other side.
Yeah, they can do $10,000 worth of repair work in the span it takes to soap up your hood.
Yes. And now the police can't find you.
Wow.
Your brand new car looks clean, and then all of a sudden you're not on the run anymore.
Yeah, it's great. I miss sometimes I miss having those kinds of games.
So, moving on. Season 2 of Defiance, there's an article on Sci-Fi Pulse that makes an interesting connection between the Cold War and the Earth Republic and everybody else. Anybody get to read that article?
You say...
all the different factions. I did see that.
So, I mean, what's funny is when we conceived it, we were talking about, so we've got a Cold War brewing between the Votanus Collective and the Earth Republic. But the funny thing is neither one of them is the global superpower that you imagine from the Cold War. They don't actually have that large a repertoire of resources available to them. I mean, I think the last Stratocarrier, of course, crashed inside of San Francisco. Crossing the Rockies is just really tough for them. And one's in South America, one's in North. But nonetheless, that factionalism brews, and still, they're not even fighting over as scarce of resources, and yet still that we have to be the global power makes them come to each other's throats constantly. These people need philosophy classes.
So just how big is the Volge?
The Volge?
Yeah.
So, as far as evidence that's been presented to players and viewers, they're not a global power. So they're living primarily they're living somewhere inside of the Storm Divide, which is a very difficult place to live, and doesn't get much tracking because it's just that dangerous, largely because of Volge. But also secondarily, they're falling from the sky. Obviously, they can survive outside of atmosphere. They can enter into a state which will allow them to survive actually impacting through Earth's atmosphere. And they've been freaking falling alive-ish from the arcs, and that's crazy time. And so nobody knows how big they are because there shouldn't have been any on the arcs because they're not part of the Votanus Collective. They weren't supposed to find a way to get a ticket.
Surely they cannot be that large for nobody to have noticed them in the first place.
Well, think about how big the arcs are. So one of the things that we had a science coordinator come on. Oh, gosh, if I could remember his name, he's so good. He wrote about he wrote about, like, if you were going to transport 1 billion people, each arc would be nearly the size of Earth's moon. And so these things would need to orbit. They're not orbiting the Earth. They're actually orbiting the Lagrange points, which are these gravity wells that are math outside of Earth's orbit. And so they're moving in that way because if all of the arcs were to surround the Earth, they would tear it apart. The gravitational forces involved would just make another planet because we'd all just crush into one spot. So there were a lot of places to hide on the arcs, but on top of that, the arcs contained the synthesizers that were intended to create new life to turn Earth into sort of new Deribo, I guess. And that means that they can synthesize anything that they've got in their database. So they can make new life, they can make new objects, they can make goulanite, they can make new compounds. So there could be a lot if somebody just set their 3D printer to repeat and didn't really pay much attention to it.
So I got a couple of theories. First of all, I've already voiced the theory that I think that part of the fleet is actually still in hiding somewhere else in the solar system, and that we have the possibilities for further arc invasion later. So that's just a theory of mine. Whether or not it's story lore or not, we'll see. The other thing is, at the very beginning, in the pilot episode, you had one of those suckers try to land around St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're saying that if one of these things gets close enough to Earth, it would end life, completely. But it was right there. It was, landing.
That is not an arc. That is part of an arc. They're modular ships, and they can break apart in order to and fit together, like Devastator.
Are we saying that we've got Transformers or like Macross going on up there?
Robotech, yes. I mean, it's a relatively common thing to imagine a spaceship which can link itself together, like our own space stations are put together with many smaller parts. And so the arcs were constructed in space docks, but some of them down on planets. You send them up, and then you link them together out there. So that ship, what was it called? We actually had a name for that classification of ship that we saw in the opening, and I can't remember what it was called.
Will we ever get to see the whole ship?
I don't think there are any whole ships left, but more likely than not, we will show a full one in space at some point during the show, just so we can get a grasp of it. There's actually some great concept art by our own Heath Sradawa, who painted what one of them looks like when they're put together, and they look very different from the individual pieces.
That seems like something that would help people grasp the enormity of this invasion, so to speak. I mean, something that phenomenally big that, like you said, could practically tear Earth apart and create a new planet. It has an impact on people just seeing that. So I really, really do hope that we get to see one.
And I want to see the scene with young Stalma airlocking her fiance.
Oh my God, so do I.
Maybe he's landed somewhere else.
Yeah,
he's walking into town.
That would be, from Stama's perception, that would be, almost 30 years ago?
Yep.
Approximately? Because she would have gone to sleep, and then,
I think she was like 6 or 8 at the time.
They live long.
They do marry off that early, from what I've heard.
And with Stama, was she truly ever really asleep? Was she plotting all along?
Oh,
I
who
think
knows
she-
what
Ooh, good
cryosleep
one.
is like.
I think she was plotting all along.
Actually, what I want to see is I want to see Stama and Ferric from the game sit down and have a conversation, because they would have interesting things to say to each other. Because Ferric is an anti caste system activist, essentially rebel, and Stama has done some things that you're not supposed to do. She's much more powerful and outspoken than a woman is supposed to be inside of the caste then society. And of course, her husband is not originally Changelero, which is also not supposed to happen.
Yeah, she's totally women's liberation all the way, Stama, I do have to say. But it'll be interesting because in season 1, every time you saw her kind of weaving her web, Daytak was always a part of her web. So she could kind of pin things on him and say, well, this is the way Daytak would want it to be. And I saw in one of the clips she tried to do that with Alak, and Alak was like, but he's not here. So at some point, Stama's really going to have to put her foot down on her own and just say, well, this is the way I want things to be. And so I'm really curious to see her grow in that regard.
I think it's really great to see Stama and Alak at each other's throats, just because. I mean, and they've got such a complicated relationship, and I love that they've got this construct of them being in the bath together as a time that they're going to talk to each other, because they're just so vulnerable, the two of them, and you can tell the state of their relationship by how uncomfortable they make each other.
Are they ever really vulnerable, though?
Oh, come on! You've seen him beaten up inside of a cargo container by his father-in-law. Oh yeah.
You've seen him scared of the hellbugs.
Yeah, everyone's
This is true.
vulnerable
This is
around
true.
Rafe McCauley, and Graham
See,
Greene for that matter.
I think Pilar's going to come back in town. She's going to put a pen in Stalma's knee, and she's going to take over the whole place.
Man, I cannot wait till Pilar comes into the show.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, it's only going to be, 2 episodes? That's a crying shame to me.
Is that it? Oh,
I
God,
think
she's
so.
okay.
Yeah, looking at IMDb, it looks like she's just pulled up for 2, maybe 3 episodes, and I don't think that's enough for a whole 13-episode season.
Do you think they're going to kill
She's-
off Pilar? Do you think they're going to kill her character? How can you even do that to Linda Hamilton?
Do you think
I mean?
Do you think they'd really bring in Linda Hamilton and then get rid of her that quickly? Like,
No.
that'd be.
I would hope they would extend her contract for a lot more than that, but who knows? Maybe season 3.
It reminds me of what's her name, River Song in Arrow. Comes in for a couple episodes every year, and that's it. So if they could keep Pilar in the show, but only afford Linda Hamilton for like 2 or 3 episodes a season, that would be almost worth it. I mean, what do you think, Sean?
I don't know. With Linda Hamilton, she has so much street cred with sci-fi, and she does so. I mean, she can do crazy, she can do evil, she can do any of that. And in order to make Defiance go, you need a lot of crazy and evil. So I don't know. I would keep bringing her back, but it isn't my budget.
My money's on Rafe being the one that gets killed off.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I'm going to hold you to
unfortunately.
that, by the way, throughout the season. I'm going to remember this. I actually think so. There was a clip or a Vine. They're so good at putting out their social media clips that I get them confused times. But Amanda clearly has Alak locked in some sort of a cage, which I could go in 2 directions. It could be really, really kinky, or Stama could have framed her own son for Kenya's death, which I would love to see that happen. Just because
that'd be
it's so
awesome.
crazy.
That's
think
actually a
about
really
that.
good theory, yeah.
There's something I love about science fiction shows that keep inside of a set location. So, like, I loved Deep Space Nine because it was Star Trek with consequences, and so I love that all this doco happened during season 1, and ghosts don't go to sleep in this town. Like, you do something, there is just enough technology and just enough people invested in what you did that you don't get free of it.
Damn. Yeah, that's pretty heavy stuff there. Yeah, Alak being framed for the murder of Kenya would be really interesting. I gotta say, that didn't never cross my mind. But Sama's just evil enough to do it, isn't she?
I think she is, and I think I don't know, you never know, but maybe, who's to say that maybe she likes Daytak better. I mean, I would not put anything past Stama when she has a plan in mind.
Also, with Stama's plans, it's really easy for her to come up with a master manipulation of framing her son and then figuring she'll be able to get him out of it, and then not.
Right, and then have to come up with a whole new plan. Yeah.
Well, also without Daytak there or Rafe there, actually, she doesn't need the son. She can have Christy, because if in the clips of what we're seeing are true, then she's with Child, and she pretty much has the entire Macaulay Lump Mines with Christy. She doesn't really need Alec either.
Yeah, as long as she's got a grandbaby, she's set.
So she could take Christy under her wing and have the baby coming, and she'll just rule the town.
I wondered if
I
she's...
actually see it in chat. In chat, Daco is actually pointing out something good, is that the Macaulay mines don't belong to the Macaulays anymore.
Oh, that's true.
they're
The
E-reps.
E-reps got it.
But maybe Rafe... Sorry, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go right ahead. No, I'm done.
Well, Rafe did say in season 1, he's like, I know those mines like the back of my hand. He's like, I don't need a map at all. So maybe he knows something that the Earth Republic doesn't, and in that regard, he would be very valuable as far as the mines go, just in case there's something hidden or there's a way around them. He would be valuable in that regard.
Well, I want to know from the Comic-Con clip that we saw, why he's living with Stama. Why is he in the bath with her?
Well, have you seen her in the bath?
He's homeless.
No, I'm just playing.
That's where I would be. Yes, I understand.
No, but you're right. He is homeless. That's a great question. And he's homeless. I think he's probably so confused while living there. And I mean, I'm sure his daughter lives there, so maybe he's like, well, we can make this work,
We can all share the bath.
Yeah, we can all bathe together.
I'm not sure. I think it was the Viceroy, Mercado, that takes Rafe's house. It's either him or Pottinger, but one of them takes his house. And so Rafe is out on the streets, and Stama takes him in, and there's got to be a reason for that. And not necessarily because Christy's there, but for some other reason. She's always got a plan. And she's
To
always trying to
spin her web.
Exactly. Now, chat in Twitch is bringing up something that we should also discuss. Who are Rafe and Daytek carrying when they're carrying a body in the trailer?
She was
Any
wearing
speculations?
heels. Well, I think the figure that they're talking about, I think that the figure was wearing heels, so it's either like a drag queen from the Need Want or a cast-a-thin woman.
Or they found Kenya in the woods.
Oh.
Ooh. And then, oh man, there are so many things you could stage.
They got to get rid of her.
Oh, that would be so fantastic.
What other thing would you find them two working together other than to be against the E-Rep?
Working for
that's
Stama.
true.
You're right.
But do you remember?
They don't want the E-Rep to find them.
That's true. Do you remember in one of the clips, Shannon, this is for you, gouged out eyes. Do you remember one of them in one of the clips, there was a woman, she looked like a cast-a-thin woman, and her eyes clearly weren't there. She may not be dead, but she may be. So maybe, Hellbug said this in chat, maybe it's one of the handmaidens. Talk about a dangerous life.
I remember that clip because it looked like Daytek saw her and had all the red stuff on the eyes. But I don't know, it leads me also to believe, was that in the same clip, I think it was in the same clip, where you have Nolan yanking Stama out of the car.
Yeah, wasn't
Did you
that
see
a
that
great
one?
clip? He yanked the stack out of her. He pulled her all the way out of a car.
She screamed like a human little girl.
Of course, she weighs 85 pounds soaking wet, so that's not exactly a feat of,
Soaking wet and in
superhuman
makeup.
strength.
Yeah,
You're right.
I love how intimidating Jamie is, like as Stama, and then she's very small.
I can tell you, she was pretty intimidating when I met her back at Comic-Con back in February.
You're 5'2", Shannon.
Agreed.
Look, I was intimidated. I was in fangirl moment in awe, and I couldn't speak like a little idiot.
Yeah, I was there too. That I understand completely. Intimidation.
Could you not
galore.
speak?
I could not speak.
I spoke
no.
very, very, very softly.
I did get to ask a question, and it was very much whispered because, did my fans want to know? Did you push that guy out of the airlock, or just real quiet? And I was like, oh my god, I am so embarrassing myself. But yeah, she's awesome.
Which one were you at?
The Dallas Sci-Fi Convention.
Oh yeah, that was a great one.
So got to meet her, Daytek, and the whole family really.
I really want to know in season 2, I'm so curious as to exactly, Amanda's going down, basically, she's running a stack show. Like, every clip I've seen, she's having hallucinations. I think she is going to go down she's going to go on a Courtney Love bender and completely lock a lack in a cage and play, Hole for, 72 hours.
Well, did you also see the clip where she punched Nolan in the face? What was that about?
Was that in that
satisfying.
Vine? Yeah. Oh,
That's in the
man.
same one. Yeah, so she punches him and she throws Alec in the jail. So I think this is all going to be from the first episode.
We were joking that we want to make. I was talking to Grant when we recorded the missions that come up on Monday, and we decided that we want to do a supercut of every time someone has greeted Nolan by punching him in the face or other part. Just because it's become a running gag almost. If somebody's angry with Nolan, they know he can take it. Bam!
That's a lot of hellos.
I was going to say you're going to make an hour-long show of just punching Grant.
Of just punching Grant. It would be
a
very
lot
fun.
of hellos.
Grant does have a face made for punching.
He does. Very strong jaw. He can totally take it.
Well, to be fair, he's dished out his own. He's dished out a few on his own.
Yeah, but when he punches people in the show, they die unless they're a castathan, in which case they strangely survive.
Well, I think with second season, I want to see how many times Arissa throws her knives at people. That would be interesting.
Oh, we should. I mean, you guys are all coming up with like my very own drinking game, so I'm taking notes here, and pretty much for the season premiere, I think I've got it down.
How much bourbon do you have?
Every time
Drinking.
Nolan gets it, you got to take a drink.
That's right. And every time Marissa has a knife in her hand.
Every time, here's the best one. Here, every time Stama's in the bathtub, take a drink.
That's right. Pretty much.
Every time a god that is not Irzu or Reiatsu is invoked. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, then that would be a sober show. Wait.
I know.
I see where you're going.
Every time Irzu is invoked, you'll be really gone.
That is
She'll
true.
be so drunk she can't remember the show.
Wow. It's a good thing it's only once a week, I swear. You guys are going to be drunk on me 24/7.
I also want to know from that clip, why is Stama kissing Nolan? That's what I really want to know.
Oh, don't you? Ah, so good.
You and your secrets.
Is it a hello or is it, hello, I'm spinning my web? Come
No.
join the bath with me.
Yeah, isn't that like basically?
And is there
basically
tongue
that
involved
is
or not?
Stama's version of punching someone in the face? Is just kissing them on the lips. Like she's got to be angry at him in some regard.
Technically, she's running a mob. Maybe she's putting a hit on him.
Or
Yeah,
it
it's like,
could
I
be,
knew it was you, Fredo.
It could be poison.
That's
yeah,
right.
that's true. But I think you can only pull that trick once.
It would be amazing if she kissed him after that scene where he completely jerked her out of the car. I feel like that would be how Stama would respond to something.
Well, that's
hello.
like 1950 sci-fi.
You saved me.
I'm hysterical.
Kiss.
I'm hysterical. Now I need violence and sex. Yeah.
I always knew
don't know.
Nolan was William Shatner.
I know she
Fine.
screamed pretty good.
I'm going for some sort of arabesque romance Defiance season premiere, apparently.
I don't know. He made her scream pretty good.
I don't know. I still think the best scene would be Doc Yule and Stama in a bath. That would be good. I need that.
I wonder if the light bulb will float.
Actually, she
I
would
don't know how I
probably be
feel
really into that.
She would.
Doc
See,
Yule. From what
I'm
I've
down.
heard, yeah.
We
she
would be into that.
Yeah.
Okay, but I am not really comfortable with seeing any kind of imaging without clothing.
I think what Sean really meant.
But it would just look
is-
like her head. Sorry. Yes.
I think what
did
Sean
mean?
really
I'm
meant-
sorry.
He meant exactly what he said.
he wants to see Stalma and Doc
oh
Yule
my
in the
God,
bath
what a
with
dream.
him. That's what
Now,
he really
would the
meant.
light bulb float?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
That would be awesome. She can't even talk. She's like, I don't want to say it. I don't want to
Maybe
say
it
it. They're
puffs
recording
out.
this.
Some sort of defense mechanism.
Oh, dude, what if she had like
Like
a
a
lizard
puffer
tail or
fish.
something? It'd be
Automatic
awesome.
life preserver
Oh,
skin.
what if that would... Okay, now we're just going basically down the drain, literally. Now I'm imagining all this indigene anatomy that I've
Whose
never should
paint would rub
imagine.
off on who?
There's a reason she has a frog on that back wall of her office.
Oh.
Yeah. Whose paint would rub off on who on that one?
I'm telling you.
Oh, man. Oh, that is
God.
maybe that'll happen in season,
Huh?
maybe that's season 3, season 4, maybe.
We need to do a whole new spin-off now.
You see her, she comes out in like a bathrobe. Welcome to my home. You know, she's all like frog below the waist. It'd be awesome.
Man, talk
Oh,
about
man.
getting darker. Jesus Christ.
I'm actually going to the pilot episode of the Tick cartoon show. It's like, ticks have 8 legs.
How do you know I don't?
I don't.
That was a great show. Underrated was the Tick.
Stop.
Oh.
While we're on difficult
Well,
questions,
Yeah,
they,
the monkey
they did
crawl,
Oh, no.
right.
six-legged
Six-legged monkey
whatever.
crawl. 2-finger scotch drop. I mean, we can add on to this. 4-legged frog hop.
That brought tears to my eyes.
Aliens are awesome, man. You never know what you're gonna get.
It could be also, you know what? The Wonder Woman in the background. That's what she's.
And what's
See,
so,
that was.
what's
This
so
has gotten
bad is all of
exactly
this
as
could
dirty
probably.
as I thought it would.
I mean, this is just the beginning. But what's so
If you were
great is
looking
that
for clean, you've come to the wrong place, sir.
all of the things
This is
that
how we normally are.
all of the things that you guys are imagining could so get past the television censors because they just don't make any sense. So we could very well see some amphibian bath sex, and it could totally be broadcast at 8 p.m.
Well, as long
Look
as
what
there's
we're
no
already
croaking
seeing in the
involved.
clips. What is that stuff that Storm's dropping in the bathtub that
Oh,
she
those
looks like she's having an
crystals. They have
orgasm
a
to?
name. Who remembers the name? There's a...
Crack
Alex says-
cocaine?
No, it's been
No, that's what
Alak has a
Amanda's
line. He calls
snorting.
them by name.
Yeah, they're essentially magic bath crystals, and apparently they really help you get in tune
Relax.
with yourself. Yes.
Get your
Get
rocks off.
in tune with yourself.
Some magic bath beads.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I don't know where we go from here, but
Well, I didn't really expect us to end up at crystal masturbation, but we did.
Ah, there we go.
okay. You know what? Just wait for it. Thursday, June 17th. June 19th. That will be the hashtag of the night. Crystal masturbation.
Crystal math. Leave it to
God,
you, man. Leave it to you.
I'm here for
Is
you.
that in the first episode? I can't remember.
I
Yeah,
hope it's in all of them.
It is.
It is? Okay, good.
Yeah, they've been tweeting the script out, and that was one of them.
I'm so going to put that all over Twitter.
I would like to switch gears for just 2 seconds
Yes.
with a question directed at Trick.
Oh.
And with regards to the game and the update process for the game, did you have the demons who designed it on staff, or did you have to contract with a lower level of hell for that?
We had to contract with a lower level of hell for that. Actually, no, the demons were on staff. We have a platform team. But yeah, oh god. So what's fun about the updating process is like, oh god, every time that somebody gets an error, we get a report, and we just kind of go, son of a bitch. Am I allowed to curse on this?
Yes,
we had that
just go.
conversation.
Run it.
All right. But yeah, so what I love is that we've got a lot of guys like this week and last week and the week before have just been like being inside of the cockpit. That's not what you call it. The command station in Hunt for Red October, as the lights go red and we find more and more things to fix and repair because so damn many people have shown up. And so it's beautiful to see so many things have actually been fixed in the last couple of weeks, although the patch was always a nightmare.
Yeah, it's and what's the problem really is it wouldn't be a problem if it was a terrible game and nobody liked it. You'd be like, oh, we'll screw this and we'll just go on. But there's so many different facets of the game that you just, oh, man, I got to do that. I got to find that. And you wind up going, well, I have to play. So, which is good. And then, the update process and I'm sure you guys have more experience with issues, but it's kind of funny because you log on and you update and everything. And then you log on your character and you can see your character. And you can see a 360-degree bowl all around him where none of the textures are mapping. You're like, well,
you've gotten the black texture thing.
I have. And you're just like, oh, this is awesome.
And then you log in, you log back out, and it downloads like forever as a result of that. Yes,
about 3.5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that one. I've had that one myself. That was on Xbox though, right?
It was.
Was it? Okay, good. Because my God, I hope that never happens on PC. Because if it does, then we're barking up the wrong tree. Yeah, so Xbox is probably the most complicated thing to patch onto from a technical standpoint because they keep different things under different partitions. So our patcher is one place, the game resources are another place. You might have installed the game, which is actually under a different partition at that point, if I understand right. Anyway, so it leads to some complicated mixed messaging, and so we've been working on that, but it's not fun. You know what? Like, sometimes it's, like, super fun to work on a video game because you're like, I'm going to make a Panzer Dragoon Orda-style multi-lock-on machine gun, rah, and it's awesome because every time you mess it up, something cool happens. And then other times it's the patcher, and you go, oh, man, okay, I'm going to test it now. Now I'll be back in 3 hours. because you have to run it like an end user does. You have to run it like somebody's going to play the game, because otherwise it's not a good test. So you can't even use the internal. We have our own internal server
Feel
to patch.
our pain.
Yeah. And I play at home most nights. I play on Xbox, which I don't know how many people know that, because my PC character is like 300 ego rating or something like that. It's pathetic. Then I've got my cheat character that I use in the live streams.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. And then it's wild whenever you run into something and you're like, wow, this is really infuriating, because now I've got to re-download the game, or now I can't see my menu because I have 3,000 things in my inventory. So yeah, it's a big process.
Yeah,
I will tell you that when you
Trick,
log
I got
on,
a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do it.
No, go ahead, Sean. Finish up.
Well, just just for the putting you through hell and doing all this. The one of the best things that when you log on and see is when you get to your first arc fall and you see 50 other people there. Just using, I mean, your ego rating is, I don't know, 50, 60, whatever. And you go in and you dive in with your, POS machine gun or whatever. And you see people zapping lightning and throwing 2,000, point shots around and everything. That is one of the most comforting feelings in gaming, is just going in and everybody wanders in with a feeling of, with the shielder on it. And you just run in and do whatever you're going to do, and you get points for it, even though you contributed almost absolutely nothing. But you get to see everybody running around and killing, a giant arc fall, and it is one of the most cathartic feelings in gaming.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most incredible things to see. I love arc falls. I have some notes about incursions, so we're going to be updating incursions during the course of the season so that they're less repetitive, essentially. But I mean, that is something you can't get anywhere else. Even what's weird is I love going to conflict sites, because I love actually sort of more micro scale encounters with other players. So I love running into a conflict site and having 4 other people show up, because it's where maybe a contract is located. And you think, whenever you're playing the game, you make the decisions to load out your character the one way that you enjoy playing, and you think that's the best way to play. And then you run in and there's somebody running around with a courier, which, fires once in a blue moon and, sticks sticky bombs on people, and a needle gun, for example, an infector. And they're playing a totally different game than you. And then you get 4 people and they're all playing a totally different game from you. And I love it. I love that people gravitate very organically to their favorite way to play. And I just love that. I love watching it.
Well, you can, because everybody's playing so differently, it works out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I did want to ask one question before we go into the next segment. Is Monday. We're going to get to see Nolan. Anything you want to tell us about that?
That there will be, that supercut I was talking about earlier, there's going to be an opportunity for one of those. Makes me so happy.
So we're going to get to punch Nolan in the gut, just like Varys.
There's that possibility, yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Because he deserves it.
And then, Sean, did you have a question?
No, I asked mine.
Okay.
It was me, Stargate Pioneer. It's kind of a long question, Trick. If you could shorten it up a little bit, it's just, if you can describe briefly the creative process of the crossover missions between the show and season 2 and the game. I mean, how does that work? Do you get together with the show creative team, or?
So, I mean, largely we go through, we have a producer who works with us from the show, who's also a writer of, I believe, the 6th episode of this season, where you're going to get to meet a Gulani. Brian Alexander is our usual go-between, though I speak to the other members of the creative team from time to time. But we get together and we go, you know what we have an opportunity, because normally we know what resources we have. We're going to do 3 mission lines, for example, between the seasons. What are the biggest plot points that we could hit? So this is actually different from the first season, because the first season we were like, let's try to, we want to introduce Nolan. That was our goal, and we're going to try and do these crossovers. This is the story we want to tell. They'd say the story they want to tell, and it's less. We've gotten much better at collaboration, because we're like, okay, what are some really good things that we can plant that are going to be dramatic, that are going to be 3 episodes in or 6 episodes in, you're going to go, oh, fuck, they told us everything, and we didn't think about it. And so that was really what we did for the second season. Had a very different collaborative process for us, because we were like, okay, what can we do that's really going to make people wish they'd paid more attention later inside the season? Or in the case of like our actual proper season 2 storyline, it's like, oh, what can we do that we don't want to have. We're going to introduce mysteries because mysteries are great. But Agatha Christie mysteries are terrible because they don't actually give you all of the information up front. And, Hercule Poirot goes, I noticed something in the corner and I will reveal this later. And you're like, oh, God damn it, I can't solve this. And instead it's like, okay, can we meter out...
I prefer Scooby-Doo mysteries myself.
Can we meter out the information at enough of a rate so that people can go, oh, I've got this theory and this theory and this theory. I can create a null hypothesis, and let's wait and see whether the null hypothesis occurs. And then some of them are going to go, oh, I figured it out, and I was right. And that's going to be wonderful. I'm looking forward to seeing that forum post where somebody goes, I've got all the evidence that this is it, and everybody goes, no, you can't be right. That's crazy. Totally right.
Yeah, that's going to make our shows pretty interesting. We get to do all the theory crafting. At this point, we're going to go ahead and Trick, you're probably going to get bombarded with questions. So
this happens.
We're going to try to keep this as manageable as possible. Moderator's going to go ahead and start unmuting people that have questions. And some of us will watch the Twitch chat and ask questions from there. So let's start unmuting some people.
And these questions can be for anybody, not just Trick.
I just assume he's going to be the target of all these things.
I actually see a chat question that I want to answer, if I may.
Okay, go ahead.
Somebody's asking when you're going to get the Season 2 Arissa outfit. I cannot remember whether that unlocks tomorrow or on Thursday, but it's one of those two. So there you go.
Is this the one that includes the California flag on her back?
Oh, God, I wish so. We don't have cloth physics. We can't do the California flag outfit. So that is like a wish list update for once we update our Havoc so that we can have cloth capes, because I fucking love that outfit.
Risinira in the chat room wants to know why didn't the voice actress for Tio, the voice actress Tio not record Rin in game?
I can give complicated legal reasons, but try to keep in mind that Tryon World Networks is not certified by all of the same guilds as the show is, and that can cause trouble with getting actors.
Okay. So,
political answer there.
Looks like
that's all the details I can do.
That's fine. It looks like Daco's got some things he wants to say, so go ahead, Daco, you're on the air.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Well, first off, I'd like to make a comment about some of the statements that were made for Stama. The main thing is, for Stama's point of view, family is her everything. I don't believe she would actually just end up sacrificing her son, which she's already stated in the first season that she loves both her son and her husband. But that's unless she completely goes a little bit over the edge. Well, we'll see about that in this season anyway.
Yeah, so, I mean, I have a reply to that. Something I love is that she is very family-centered, and she believes that she puts her family before herself. And I think that I would love to have seen the scene up in March's office when March is dead and the two of them are there and the soldiers come in, whether or not she stepped away from her husband right then, or whether she stood right next to him, because that would tell you so much. Though clearly she isn't in prison. But I love the idea of taking, this is the most important thing to this character, this might secretly be the most important thing to this character, and putting them in situations where they have to reveal their hand. And I think that totally happens to Stama more than once in the second season, and it's beautiful.
She really is a little genius, isn't she?
Yeah.
And she plays it so well.
Daz has got a question. He's asking on Twitch, to Trick, Did you totally lose it when working with Jamie Murray?
I was nervous that I would, but I didn't. I mean, she's such a professional, and she's very easygoing as well. So it's not like she's not a prima donna. She's none of those things. She was just really great to work with, and so she put me at ease. I could give her notes, and she would give notes back. What was great is, like she tries to say a line, and it doesn't quite fit with the rhythm. It doesn't sound good with Stama. We rewrite it right there. I loved that one of the things that happened is she asked what bungled is. She was like, I just have never encountered this word. And so it was great to have her to be like, do we need to change that? Is that not something you're familiar with? She's like, no. How many opportunities do you get to say bungled? I was like, this is delicious. Love it.
Now, did she lick your face, or is that only reserved for other co-stars on the show?
I believe that's reserved for other co-stars. That's just the greeting at Sci-Fi, apparently.
It was a pretty nice greeting she gave Eddie.
I'm never going to Sci-Fi again. Never. Just thousands of tongues on my face. That's just wrong.
And you love every minute of it.
Anybody else have anything to say? We got Daz. Okay.
I've got a question from Sophia from Arissa Wi-Fi. She wants to know, what don't you want to see happen in season 2? It's kind of a loaded question.
What do not we want to see? Oh man.
Right. What don't you want to see happen in season 2?
I
don't want them all to die.
I want to see Tommy make it through.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I do not want to see Docule to die. I do not want to see Stama not bathe. I do not want to not see... you know what I actually don't want to see? Which this whole Mayor Pottinger and Amanda thing can probably get really creepy really quickly. And so I'm not sure how creepy I want it to get, but I'm going to err on the side of, oddly enough, I hope that doesn't get creepy. Meanwhile, I hope Stama and you don't want to see Graham do what?
I don't want to see Graham.
You've already seen him in a bath.
No, I don't want to see Graham Greene. I don't want to see him in bath beads.
I don't know.
I don't want to see Amanda take over everything that Kenya did upstairs. I don't want her. I don't want her character to do that.
Good point. I do not want to see Amanda attempt the six-legged monkey crawl.
Yes. I would like to see that. That would be fine with me.
2-finger Scotch drop, though, I'm all for seeing. So if she can work that out.
Amanda the Madam?
Yeah, I don't want to see Amanda the Madam.
I kind of think Sean's on the right track here. I think that I do want to see that.
Oh, yeah, I totally want to see that. And you don't know. Graham Greene could be able to work bath beads. You don't know.
Right? Yeah.
That's true. I mean, depending on where he puts them. No, I'm just...
Now, I have a question.
He's got a very diverse range as an actor.
Rissimura does say in the chat, and I know that's Lonely Nerdette on Twitter, she says she doesn't want to see Tommy with the E-Rep girl, meaning Berlin, but I'm actually very curious about Berlin. I really think that we are going to end up liking her. And by the end of the season, we're going to start hating her, but we're going to end up liking her.
You know, something else I do not want to see. I don't want to see Christy being as submissive as she has been the first season. I want to see her step out in her own and not be so, squeakish. Although she handled the Hellbugs pretty good, but she's very quiet. I want to see her step up and be.
You want to see her kill somebody?
I want to see her. I want to see her be even with Stama. I want to see her realize
nobody's even.
Come on,
with
I want to see her realize that she's a snake and that she should not back down to her.
She's not equal to
Pilar
Stama, but
might
Stama's
bring that
Pilar is even with Stama.
Well, that's true. I want to see Stama kind of. So it would be interesting. I love how we flip this question to what we do want to see.
Exactly.
Which is like the list is endless. But you're right. Stama bringing Christy out of her shell in some weird kind of way would be really good, I think, for Christy's character development.
I mean, if she's going to be a human Casty mama, she's got to have something going for her there.
Maybe that's what the masturbation crystals are for.
So what I love about Christy is that now she's in a position where she's grown up without a strong female figure inside of her life. So she doesn't have a sort of basis to display strength off of other than what she has seen from her brothers and from her dad. And they are very upfront with their threats. They, will beat someone up and they will commit very public violence. And now she's in a position where she's essentially going to be spending a lot of time with Stama, and she can get the impression that, we can be assertive too. We can be dangerous, but she learned how to be dangerous and assertive from people who like shotguns.
Here's one.
Yeah.
Who is she going to be more with? Is it going to be Pilar when she comes back, or is she going to stay with Stama?
No, I think Pilar is going to be there just to have that added tension.
Yeah, that antagonistic type thing.
Yeah.
You stole my daughter
She'll choose
from me.
Stama.
Yeah.
Well, but now we talked about this once in a podcast, so you guys clear me up on this. Christy is under the impression that her mom has just disappeared, or is she under the impression that her mom is dead?
I think she thinks she's dead.
I thought dead.
I
didn't
thought
it? I mean, that was-
I thought dead. And so imagine if your mother, oh God help us, suddenly rises from the dead. I don't know, you may feel this initial attachment, and then maybe when she realizes that I actually have no idea what Pilar's motive might be in this upcoming season, so I don't know where Christy's going to fall on that.
I think Quentin is the only one that actually knows the truth, because by that time when the mayor told him, she was already living with the Tars. So I don't think she knows anything about it.
Yeah, because Quentin exited the scene before I think he got a chance to tell everyone.
Yeah, he's gone. And he's coming back for, what, 2 episodes? So he'll be back with Pilar. But what's Quentin going to do about all this? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Imagine what she would think if Mama finally does come back and Daddy's living there in the Tar house.
Oh, she would go. I mean, that's enough to make you go like bipolar. I mean, like that's enough.
That was a good one, man. Good one.
No, but I
you were waiting for that.
I was. And it was so inappropriate. But no, seriously, I'm just so. The only thing I think people have managed to focus on is like we're like pants like Linda Hamilton, but I haven't actually really thought through what in the world she might be capable of when she comes back.
Maybe she's still a little crazy.
Yeah, and this is why I wish Cougar Nikki were still alive, so there could be like this, cougar fight. But
maybe Doc Yule knows her too.
Oh, good point.
We can't be bringing people back from the dead.
Are we going to be getting the Linda Hamilton that is Sarah Connor, or are we going to be getting the Linda Hamilton that is Chuck Bartowski's mom?
Badass. I think we're going to be getting the Linda Hamilton that is intense as fuck and intimidating as hell. And
Sarah Connor, already.
I think that's just how Linda Hamilton rolls.
I wonder if any of the actors on the show are actually intimidated by the fact that Linda Hamilton's coming on.
I'm sure Jesse Rath went. I mean, I want to know how loud he squealed when he found out.
Because he is the geekiest of the geek on that set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. Grant geeks out about video games.
I think his girlfriend is geekier than him.
Side note.
Really?
Yeah, he loves. He's a big Eve player. We've talked about
yeah.
He's very knowledgeable about video games and stuff, and Jesse is too, and so it's great to hang out with them.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have pegged Grant for an Eve player. That is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Did you see his first Comic-Con appearance? And
I did.
Oh god, it's great. He just shot through basically the history of the Eve Corporation.
Yeah, he took over all of it.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions, or are we good to go?
I don't have anything else.
I'll take it. That's good to go.
Yeah. All right.
My phone has finally quit talking to me.
All right. So I guess this was successful.
Sounds like a personal question. Yeah. I had a lot of fun.
I think we should do this again. I'm used to doing this at night when it's acceptable to drink. So maybe, next time we'll do it not on a Sunday morning. But
look, it's Ireland somewhere.
This is
true.
worldwide.
That's true. I'm sure Dad's
this is worldwide,
drinking
so
somewhere.
you're good.
So
I don't know if y'all know that the history kind of how this started, but this very innocently last week with me on Twitter talking to some of my friends from the UK, talking about how they have to wait until September to get it, the Defiance, and I'm like, that sucks. You're gonna have all the spoilers before you even get there. And then I was talking about sharing the show. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of illegal, but we can do this.
We could do mashups all the time.
We could, and that it is morphed into this. So this is how we got here.
Thank you guys very much for coming. This was great. Love to share the Defiance love here between the game and the two podcasts we've got going on at it. So thank you very much. And once again, this is Defiance Reporter with Ben and Michelle, and then Voices of Defiance with Stargate Pioneer, and with Sean and Shannon.